Well, we survived. Actually pretty good considering. Well, I'm guessing by now most of you have heard about the storms that went through Arkansas last night. And normally we get hit by emails and text messages pretty quickly afterwards. Did you do okay? Everything alright? Wanting to know how things are. Well, this time we didn't fare quite as well. I did, however, take a clip right after the storm went through and then tried to upload it. You know, most of you know I've been going into town to do my uploads. Well, I've tried recently doing some shorts, little short videos. Some of those short videos I've done, I've tried to do that in tether on my phone to so I wouldn't have to leave, and that was excruciatingly painful. It'd take an hour and a half for a couple-minute video just to upload that much data. Well, last night when the storm came through, power was out in a lot of areas around here. One of our local friends, the guy I did the roof for, his power went out when I talked to him, and internet and stuff like that was down, and we tried to do an upload, and we had we could barely get text messages through on our phone. T just turned loose the flock of ducks. How's everybody in there?
Fine, I just gotta get their food and dump it.
Yeah, it's messy. So here's that clip I did last night. Hey folks, got a horrible update that we need to give you. We just had one hell of a thunderstorm come through, and we suffered some catastrophic damage from it. It's hard to see it. The storm's still pouring, but it's let up quite a bit. The inline winds were so strong that you almost could not see the chicken coop. The rain and wind was so strong you could not see the chicken coop from this window. It was just pure whiteout. You can see our poor elderberry's been whipped and it's all laying over. That pole mount got pushed out, and part of the reason I think is because the ground was still kind of soft. The ground, I mean, even though the surface is dried out, the ground is still quite soft from all the rain that we've had this spring. So I don't think we've suffered any damage. It just means that a lot of work for me to put it back in. And this pole mount right here, you can see it's tilted, and it's literally just resting on the ground right here. My vegetables took a pounding, but not too bad. I'm glad we didn't have hail. And the worst of the ones was, and you can't
step outside.
Watch your cats. Yeah, we were just. Let's see, don't have any light here. We were just eating dinner. Rain's almost let up, but it tore down that pole mount. So that pole mount got flipped over, and it's resting on the fence. And as you can see, the old grandpa tree that was right there, it's on the ground too. I have no idea what other possible tree damage that we've had, but oh God, I hope our little babies are okay, because they were in there. Look at my plum tree laying over here. We're just waiting for it to quit raining so we go out and fully assess all the actual issues. But anyway, oh my God, we ended up standing on this one with the driving rain. T and I just held the pole in to keep it from hitting the ground. And yeah, I mean, it was like we jumped in a swimming pool.
Instead of bad to the bone, it's soaked to the bone.
It's soaked to the bone. Everything's.
Oh, that's
yeah. Well, those will drain out, but it's full. I mean,
oh my gosh.
I don't know how much rain. Where's my cats? Cats are gone. How much rain did we get? About 1.25 inches in the buckets. I thought there would have been more, but it came down hard and fast. All right. It's not too bad, but it's a hell of a lot of work for us tomorrow, honey.
Oh, God.
We got a lot of pole mounts to put back up.
Oh, my God.
Like I said, fortunately, I don't think anything completely suffered damage. It just, we're going to have to disassemble, put it in the ground, and reassemble it. This ground is usually really, really hard when it gets packed and dry, but it's, you know, such a wet spring. Look, I may have uprooted the little plum. I hope it didn't break the stump there. Anyway, that's all we got, folks. We're all good. There were no tornadoes, even though there, you know, was hollering tornadoes on the phone. We got one of the messages, but I mean, these trees were all bent to the ground. They're quite long and spindly, but it was inline winds. It was straight inline winds. We got about 5 minutes, 10 minutes of just it had to be in somewhere in the 70, 80 miles an hour, maybe. I don't know, but anyway. We're good, but there's some serious damage on the property. More will come later when we find out what happened. Yeah. Well, we were quite exasperated because, well, as you could see there, that pole mounts on the ground, pulled the concrete right out of the dirt. This one is the one I could say the best done. And it still pulled it out. I think the only thing that saved us from this thing going flat on the ground is the fact that we had the trees surrounding us. So we did not have a tornado. There may have been tornadoes. We just had some massive inline winds. And this is going to have to be completely redone. All of the panels are. So the winds went through here. So we actually came out here in the middle of it. I mean, you could not see the trees because there was such wind blowing, rain and wind coming down. You couldn't see the trees, but intermittently in between bursts of rain coming down, you almost couldn't see the chicken coop. Both of my plums were nearly on the ground. I've tried to pick them up. Hey, Mittens. Oh, she hates it. And all my fruit. Look at all my fruit. Taking off the damn tree. That's wants to hang over. I'm going to have to string it up like I did with the peach and stuff. My poor elderberry. Oh, my elderberry. Now, it's top heavy. Alright, so any of you out there know care of an elderberry plant? I've never thought about it. How much do you have to prune and trim it? I did some pruning last year, but I left most of it here, and it is so top heavy. It's not like a regular tree or sapling. This thing, all that rain on here, and oh, it just, oh jeez. So the real nastiest is down here. That stuff up there ain't as bad, but it pulled this pole straight out of the concrete right there. And I don't think there's any damage to it. Pigs, 5 minutes after everything come through, the pigs were out here grazing around. My wild plum is laying over the fence, and it pulled up some roots there. I'm hoping and I'm thinking I can pick it up and stake it down and then cover them roots. Most of those roots are real shallow. They run along the surface of the ground, so I might be able to save that, I hope. We had brought some posts out here to try and prop up the pole mount. There's a big twist in it. I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to either try and take the twist out of this, or I don't know, I might have to make a new one. depending upon how badly that's been up. My fence, that's not too bad. Yeah, it literally pulled this thing out. Now this thing's fell back down in here since the rain. There was so much rain. I mean, it was just, we came out here in our clothes, and by the time we went back inside after the main wind, I mean, we're literally holding on to our panels just to try and keep that one from coming face down and face planting like this. The veggies, ooh, poor veggies, you know, all laid over. All tomatoes all washed over. An old grandpa tree. Well, I knew that was going to be a matter of time. You can see how thin it is. Look how thin it is. There's nothing but a sheer wall. Amazed it was still alive. But anyway, more work. Yeah, that's bent. You can see some kinks right there and there. It's going to be a pain in the ass to get to, because in order to do this, I got to get to the bolts. Oh, I might be mistaken. Oh, I think I did take some damage on that panel. I don't know if you can see it. It may just be the way it's leaning on that fence, but I think it took damage. Those two are bent, or this one looked like it's bent. There's a twist in here. There's a twist in there. Oh, jeez. I'm sure the panels will still perform. I hope so. I've seen them take some pretty good damage. All the systems that I've done. And there's one other tree that I've seen. There's a blackjack oak. Top broke out and it's laying right there on the corner. That's where I feed the deer out. You've seen the trail cam videos. I clean that up. Clean this up. I have no idea what's going on up and down the road around me. But that's it, my friends. And the bees are quietly tucked away in their little homes. Greenhouse did just fine. Well, I got dead bees. Oh, they're pushing out drones. They got too many drones. That's why. It's chilly out here. We gotta... Can't see it now. I put a fire in just before I started recording this to heat up some water. It was cloudy all day. And it's only 55, so good opportunity to heat some water. My poor beets look like they got steamrolled. Oh, geez, but they look good otherwise. Anyway, oh, my elderberry. Poor elderberry. See if I can't get this tied up somehow. A lot of work. A lot of work. I'm going to have to redo that thing. You know, we just finished this a couple days ago. We just finished putting this one and that one in. And look at it. It literally broke the top half of that concrete. Fell off. That concrete was way up here. I mean, that was that much concrete. Piece of it's there and a piece of it's in there. It's freaking crazy. The wind. It was inline winds, no tornado. But I will say this, I think the reason we lost them like we did was because the ground was so soaking wet from all the rain that we've had so far this year. Inches upon inches. And inch and a quarter in that bucket, about an inch and a quarter. And so nothing, you know, I've been around the block, folks. Been around the world, and I've been around the block, and I've lived long enough to have gone through this. And you know, hold on, I hear something through my door here. Coffee's percolating. Shut that off. So I've been around the block, squeeze through the door because that fire is hot. And I've seen way worse I've had worse situations. This is not fun. It's a lot of work. It's going to take me every bit of a week plus, at least a week, to get everything situated back, to get these poles back in the ground. Because I got to take everything down and disassemble it, redo the hole in the ground, and then reassemble it. And each one of these is going to be a good day's job, and then you got to figure, I can't do that, and really can't do that until everything cleans up a little bit. And we got more rain on Monday and Tuesday. It's supposed to come through. Here, hold on. There's a, see if I can go back in this dark pit here. Get my phone. There's a website. A lot of you go to weather.com or other local weather sites. See if I can show you. Oops, squeeze back through here. I didn't sleep too good. After the storm came through, something shifted in the energy, and we were inside. T was sitting down doing her bucket business, if you know what I mean, and she was looking out the window at the trees blowing, and she saw what she thought was a blue beam or blue lightning, which freaked her out real quick. Oh, here you go. So you see that website, it's NOAA. I like going here to see what kind of rain we expect. Look at the amount of water that's expected to hit this area over the next week. Now, I was in the orange because that was up further in northern Arkansas. But look at the amount of rain that's supposed to come down. I follow that. I go to that page a lot to see what we're expecting in the amount of water. Well, we're way over. They could send some of this, California or west. I'd be happy with a couple inches going that way. But so there's a lot of water, and I think that's the main reason. Because back to what I was saying, when we dug that hole, and when we put the posts in over there for the wood drying barn over the last couple of weeks, we'd get down to about a foot down, and we'd hit just the sloppiest clay that you've ever seen. I mean, it's just sloppy. We those of you who remember back when we first started here, and we were talking about finding water sources, and there's a lot of discussion that we had about rainwater collection and stuff. Y'all are saying, well, go get some divining rods, find water here, and do this, and we had all that discussion. And well, you got to understand, it's great. It's great when it's wet. You can find water anywhere. Problem is when it dried up, and it did that for us. And I would guarantee you, the ground where you dig at would be just as dry. It would not be wet. This water dries out. This ground is porous. Yeah, it's got a layer of clay on it. Ooh, we're going to have to pick that up.
Fence isn't on.
Yeah, it's a good thing the fence isn't on.
Pigs are vulnerable.
Yeah, but they're respectful for the wire now. Anyway, more limbs. This isn't bad. I mean, that's what storms do, and that's what we're going into is the big storm, right? Storms shake off the weak from the strong, don't they? That's coming. Yeah. Oh. She hadn't seen this yet. Oh. See if we can't stand that up. Yeah, like I said, the roots run along the ground. So that's not good.
No,
it broke that. It split it.
It split here and split there along the root.
Yeah. I don't know. It had so many plums on it. Yeah, dang it. Man, I was proud of this. Proud of this one.
Good plum jam with it.
Yes, you did. It's a different look on that tree. See how hollow that is? Anyway, we've been, I mean, and I'm going to tell you what, that's a trooper right there. She's wasn't the first one out the door, but she didn't hesitate. Ooh, breakfast?
No.
Maybe. See, this tree down here broke right there, and the top's down here. I was looking at this tree as it being one of the healthy ones. I don't like these blackjack oaks. These things suck. But with it broken, that tells you it's hollow. Oh, they did?
Oh, yeah.
The deer came in and ate. We had just fed them. Yeah, but look. See how rotten that is? That tells you something. Well, there's a lot of trees around here that have been killed out. We gotta be careful. Our milkweed, some of our milkweed. Y'all remember that milkweed we got? And all the seeds we put down, there's a lot of it back over here and some over that way. We'll be careful with it. Yeah, well, wheelbarrows and stuff like that. Let's see what this looks like. Yeah, I went in and shut off the coffee. It was percolating. So, you know, I've been through some pretty good storms, and the two favorite storms I like to talk about. That's our pecan tree. Hopefully that thing take off.
Fairly well, honey.
Well, it's
Got a few broken.
Something snapped it. Come on, grow. I want some pecans. So this
You sounded weird.
was a duck.
That was a duck.
So two favorite storms to compare to. When I went through basic training, which that's a
No, not that. That is a duck.
I don't no, that's not a duck. When I went through basic training, Wichita Falls. Not Wichita. No, that was tech school when I was in Wichita Falls, Texas. We had the tornado come through, touchdown right next to our barracks from here to the cabin, pull up a few, trees about the size of the fruit trees and throw them across the field. Saw almost 2 inches of hail hit the ground, and we went from 90 degrees on Monday to snow on Friday night. That was some crazy weather there. Big front coming through. And the other one was in my last marriage. Right after my oldest was born, she was just a bundle of joy at the time. We had a tropical storm. I don't know. Some of you might even remember this. It's good and wet in there.
Yeah, where they've been laying. Pretty wet.
Filled up our barrel.
Yeah, dude.
We cleaned that out yesterday in preparation for the rain. Cleaned the roof, cleaned everything, so we could collect the water. And go back over here and inspect our damage. So we had some of the greatest flooding I've ever seen. I lived in a little bit more slightly hillier country, a place called Evington, Virginia. But some of you might remember this in South Carolina, North Carolina, up into Virginia. We had a tropical system, so it just ripped that right out of the ground. We'll get it fixed. And the notable aspects about that storm was real simple. We got 15 inches of rain inside of 6 hours. Now the rain that came down here, as heavy as was, we got that inch and a quarter rain that I showed you in the bucket. We got that inch and a quarter of rain in about 20 to 25 minutes, 30 minutes max. So that was coming down at the rate of about 2 inches per hour. Well, that tropical storm dumped 15 inches of rain up there in the mountainous country. You know, I was in Bedford County at that time, where I grew up, and the reason I know it was that I had a bucket of tools that were sitting on a deck, and it filled the 5-gallon bucket up completely in that 6-hour time frame. There was so much water. So I mean, I have never in my life seen so much water where there shouldn't be. Branches down everywhere. Everywhere. God, that hurts to look at. Yeah, that panel's bent. I hope the glass ain't broke in it, because I don't have an extra one of those. Those are old. Yeah, that's a bent. You'd be surprised. Those solar panels are real tough. I mean, you'd be really surprised at how much of a beating those things can take. Pretty good size hail, especially if you're tilted down and it's a glancing blow. Oh, and by the way, look at those beans where Midnight's walking past them. That's beautiful. That's the second planting here, and I've got the fourth planting up there, and hopefully it'll dry out, but we got 2 more days of rain. I'm getting really tired of planting beans up there and then staying soaking wet. There were, God, I'm going to dig back in my memory. This is back in 93 or 94, 93, and we had so much rain. Potatoes look like they got stomped on by a herd of cats. Heavy wind. Yeah, there was some of the worst flooding that area. It was a 500-year plus flood. 500-year flood there. Some of y'all might remember it, because it didn't do a huge amount of wind or structural damage or anything like that, but it flooded. And if my memory serves, between Bedford County, Campbell County, Nelson County, Botetourt County, there's a whole bunch of them. My understanding, there was over 1,500 county roads that were cut, where you'd have a culvert go under the road, but it couldn't handle the water, so it went over top of it, and it just cut the road. It was like 1,500. That's the one. Y'all remember Oroville Dam? Y'all remember the video I did on Oroville Dam, and what I talked about is, you don't want it going over because it'll back cut it, and that's when the Timberlake Dam there in Lynchburg, Virginia got cut, and they had that whole thing go down. But anyway, sounds like she's dumping water back here. Are you peeing? She's peeing.
Yes, I'm European.
You're European. European? All the water. Alright, folks. You can see all the green leaves on the ground. It's all blown off the trees. Well, that's it for now. I'll have to upload this later. Actually, right after we got the storm come through, I got a phone call, and the guy's coming to pick up a couple of those nukes. So I need to my hot water heat up in the wood stove and go get a shower and get cleaned up and get ready, get some breakfast, and then I guess we'll upload this a little bit. But we're in good shape, sort of.
Fairly decent.
Considering the way it could have been, Roof's still on, but I built a good house. And we got a lot of work ahead of us. It's going to take us at least a week to get all this back to normal. At least a week of work.
What's normal?
Normal? Normal is a week of work anyway. But I figured, since you guys, I get so many check-ins every time there's a storm. You know, I'll show you how we fared on this one. Let's hope we don't do this again for a while. Because,
please, Mother Nature, be good to us.
yes, be good to us. We try and live in harmony with you. Man, it was crazy. Yeah, my head hurts. Oh, and yeah, after just before we seen that blue light or blue beam, whatever, over here in the sky, we could feel the energy shift, and both of us got an instant headache. Something's going on. I could speculate. Y'all know what I'm talking about. We'll stay off those topics. All right, time for some coffee. Honey, anything you want to say to them? Tell them we're all good.
We are just fine. We're going to go do our normal stuff. Well, as normal as can be.
Yeah, and
just get ready for the day and do what we can.
Yeah, start disassembling, and yeah. And we got more rain coming tomorrow and the next day, and it's like
Monday and Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Goodness.
Hopefully our elderberry will perk back.
So I'm gonna tell you what, I'm glad I don't live out in an open field somewhere.
Oh my God.
Because these trees, these things are like bowed all the way back and over, and I'm gonna estimate that the winds just above the tree line up here were probably in excess of 70 to 80, probably close to 100. It was moving. It was moving.
And just imagine what it looks like up the road.
Yeah, I know. Well, I gotta go up there and meet the guy here. So, all right, folks, say bye, honey.
Bye.